मेरा नाम है Zarina Khand. I came to Scotland in 1968 with my daughter, baby daughter, and my husband. See, at that time when I came here, Glasgow was a deserted thing, a deserted city.
Okay.
So I didn't like it first. Because I came from Lahore at that time, and the Lahore is a very crowded city, big city, and I used to think that England might be a country of fairies, very beautiful, very things, because everybody saying the Valayat is very, very Shandar, is very good. But when I came here, I said, this is Valayat, this is England. So, Glasgow was black city, raining and cold and isolated and so lonely, and I cried. I say, because I came from a big family. In Pakistani, we live all joint family. My grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, sister, brother, and my sister-in-law, so many people living in one house, a big house. But it was nice. We were big family.
So the biggest thing was the isolation of being disconnected from your culture, from your land. Was that the
Yes,
biggest?
I came here alone with my husband and my child.
And you had no other family here?
No, the family was my husband's brother was here, but then we got our own house after a few days, and we felt very lonely.
Okay.
And the weather was terrible, and but the shops used to close at 5 o'clock. That was a shocking thing for us, because whenever we needed a thing, there was shops closed.
Exactly.
And there was no hustle and bustle like Lahore. Lahore was a beautiful city at that time, very, very crowded, colorful. There was many people there. And here was, comparing to that, there was nothing.
Okay.
The thing is, when I was married, we didn't have any idea, no concept to come to outside abroad. See, and my husband, they asked him that, my parents asked him that we don't want to send our daughter abroad because she's our only daughter. And he says, no, I don't think I'm going anywhere. And so when I was married, and when I completed that course, then my husband was asking me, would you apply for a voucher in England, because I have applied there, I didn't get, I want to go there because my brother is here. And I thought it's not a bad idea. We can go now, it's after 1 year of a marriage. And then I applied with my degree and with my experience. I had experience, and I had a Bachelor of Education as well, and the degree for training as well, and teaching experience in Lahore. And so the British government accepted my application.
So you applied.
Luckily, I was accepted as a teacher, qualified teacher, and they sent me voucher.
Okay.
With that, and my husband was very happy that you have done very well. They refused me, and they accepted you. And my parents didn't like this idea. See, we didn't have any plan for you to go abroad. How would you manage it? I said, now I have a daughter, and it's all right. Let me see England. I want to go. And so we came here, and my husband came with me. I got voucher, and I think at that time I was the last one who got that employment voucher. After that, they finished that. Few people more might be,
Yeah.
might have come, but I don't know. I had difficulty because my daughter, young daughter, she was 1 year old, and I was expecting, and so that was given. My husband says, "No, you are not working. I will work." And so at that time he couldn't get any job. Very difficult. He was highly educated, master's degree from economics and political science from Lahore, but still he couldn't get good job. They say you need more training here, then you will get good job. He started job in a bus driving. See, most people at that time, that was the only job they could get. He died after the working hard for 10 years in this country. It was flexible hours,
Okay.
sometime in the morning, sometime during night, sometime very late. You see, at time in snowy day, he was going in the morning 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. and coming back, if he comes for 2 o'clock, finishing 2 o'clock, then he said, I have overtime. And then that was more shocking for me, that is from morning and working up till 12 o'clock. That was so difficult, and for him and for me, staying alone and with my daughter. And but we were from there. He was thinking, we will earn more money and then we will go back. That was the idea at that time. At that time, we were thinking, my husband especially was thinking that we will work hard and we will see when we have more money, sending money into Pakistan, and they will buy house, big house and everything, then we will go back.
Okay.
That was, he was always saying to me, don't worry, we will have good life there. This is only some for little period, I'm working hard. We will ऐश करेंगे इस तरह का, हम बहुत अच्छी लाइफ हमारी पाकिस्तान में होएगी. We will earn more money here because you get more money in Pakistan. Pound is at that time there was only 20 pound for 20 rupees for 1 pound. Is 68, 69, 70. At that time he was sending money to Pakistan, that he got built a house, big house there as well. But we couldn't go back because my one daughter and other daughter, then my son, then other daughter, then my son. We have 5 children, and their education, we have to think so many things about that. But slowly and slowly we start liking this country because the system was good, education was good, and I thought we can't go back now. I think everybody was the same on stay at that time, because we are here for little time. We are not staying forever here. This is not our country.
So,
But nobody knew that how we will go back then after having children, and then children are from here, they are used to lifestyle here, and then going back there was very difficult. I couldn't think of anything. उस वक्त यही सोचा था कि हम तो थोड़ी देर के लिए जा रहे हैं. हम कभी नहीं पता था कि लाइफ यहाँ गुजरेगी. मैं I tell you, in a primary school, when I was student in a primary school, I used to study geography. You see, and there's a city of Glasgow name come, and that was resounding in my mind. That Glasgow is a beautiful name. Might be Glasgow is a city of mirror or glass. At that time, I didn't know that was from God, that it was in my mind. That is the Glasgow where I have lived all my life. When I came here, I was only 22, 23 year old.
okay.
And now I'm about 70, and I lived all that life here. I go back to Pakistan, but I don't live there 2-3 weeks or month, that's all.
Okay.
My children born and brought up here, educated here, they don't like Pakistan. They say, we don't know about Pakistan. You see, but I have done one thing. I start teaching them their language and culture. I got accepted later. This is a second stage when I was fed up that I can't stay at home at all. Time I have got education, I've been here as a qualified teacher. Why shouldn't I do something about that? But when I start, my youngest son was 6 year old, and my husband died. That was a very tragic time for us. And then I thought I have to do something that. Then I applied again for teaching. They say, no, you forgot everything. Now you have to do the courses again.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
when you came, you were, we accepted you because you had education at that time. But now after this 12, 13, 14, no, that was about 20 years when after I start working again in this country. I went to Jordan Hill College, I did my training again, I got many courses, and then at last I was accepted by GTC Scotland as a teacher in schools, and then I start teaching. I a community language, and I was additional ESL, see, English second language, and then ASL, they change their name all the time, but along with that I start teaching Urdu to our children.
Okay.
You see, community languages, because the City of London and Adexel, they present people for Urdu GCSE examination in London University. So we applied and get here. The government started, you see, in school, they started Urdu in school, so I start teaching Urdu as well.
Okay.
The first life was very difficult. They didn't accept us, you see, especially when we were living in that Govan area, and the young boys and girls, once they were throwing stone at me, and I was very surprised why you are doing this. And one Gora, one white man came to me and said, you throw them back, they will learn them. Why that? He shouted at them, why are you doing that to this poor lady? She has young children with them. But the children, they didn't understand. There was a lot of racism at that time. And getting a job was so difficult for us. I struggled for 10 years to get back to teaching and to get telling that I came here as a teacher.
Yeah.
Let me have some chance to serve this country, to earn my money. I need to have something to do.
Okay.
Then it was very difficult. It was very difficult for us. And that racism is still there. Over teachers, it's not easy for them to get job. And getting our language established in the school is not established, but with a few of our teachers, my colleague and myself, we struggle a lot to get our language culture in the schools, because they were our children. They don't know their own culture, they know their own language, they were deprived of all these things, and we people work hard for them to establish their, at least their religion, their language, their culture. They don't accept us as a first class citizen. We are second class citizen all the time. But why should our children leave their language and culture then? See, they are nowhere. And so we fight for this, and we establish something there, and now our children are learning. People, it's up to them if they learn, if it's not, but they have this freedom. Because my own children and I see my own on other people, my friends and my relatives, they have children, and they couldn't speak their own language. The only English was their language, and mother and child was strange to each other. Then by their time, it was all right, people who could speak English, but the people, mostly majority, were from Faisalabad, from other villages of Pakistan. They didn't know English, and their children speak English and mother speak Punjabi, and then there was no communication between children and their parents. And this was not good for our parents, and that's why they should learn their mother tongue.
Yeah.
That was our aim at that time, that we should have this language in school, because at least our children should learn. And so I struggled for that. I wrote many letters to the GTC, and the other universities and other head teacher of schools and counselors, and to get this accepted from for them to there should be something for our children. There are lots of our children now. This our school is full of with our children. Most Asian children, you go to Pollockshire Primary School, this 99% people are from a Muslim community. And what if they are being deprived from their religion and their language and their culture? So is our effort with all united help and effort that they have something now. It's not totally prohibited, it's something now. Otherwise, they want to prohibit our language and culture. They want us to be just हमारे रंग में रंग जाओ सारे हम यानी सब कुछ छोड़ दो तुम अपना. But can you leave your own culture, your language, your religion? We can't. You see, so that was I couldn't see my children. My children are very qualified anyway, they're professional, but they have good language. They are more Scottish.
Yeah.
They are more Scottish. My own children are more Scottish, but thank God they are very good Muslim.
Mashallah.
And they can speak their mother tongue. See, that's minimum things that we should expect. I don't want children who says their mother, father, you're stupid, because you don't know my language or you're stupid. That separation between mother, father, and that was very painful. You see, you should respect that your culture, your language. It's very disappointing. Many of our women, they just live in their own culture. They don't mix up with English society, with Scottish society. It's bad. We should socialize with them. I have many English friends, I have many Scottish friends, and we shouldn't be isolated from them. But many of our ladies, they've been here for last 40, 50 years, and they didn't learn English. And they cannot communicate with their colleague, and they don't get, if they get job, they get job in their own community with own their people. They live in their own city, in own their culture, in spite of the fact they are living here. But if you talk to them, they talk, their way of thinking, they are just like they are in village, in Pakistani remote village. Many of my neighbors and other, they just, some people, mostly they are not educated and they don't want to learn. I have done a lot of work for young people, especially I have brought my books. I have three publication. One for GCSE Urdu, or for A-level Urdu, and for the first Qaida for Urdu. See, people, what they do, they bring book from Pakistan, Urdu books from Pakistan, but that not our children culture. Our children need to be studying the books written here for them. Those books in Pakistan, they are for Pakistani children. The story of villages, story of other things, fields, and that's there. The children, most of our children, they don't go to Pakistan and they don't know the Pakistan. So we have story here. So I written books about here, about culture, about Pakistani people, or Pakistan as a city, Pakistan, Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, all for their knowledge. But the books they have books in English and Urdu mixed, because the children, if they don't understand Urdu script, at least they can follow by English. And so my books is like that. The children who are born and brought up, they can read books and they can understand that and they enjoy that. So my books, first Qaida, basic Urdu, that's for children and adult who want to learn Urdu. And my other second book for GCSE, a complete guide for Urdu examination, that's for people who cover that Qaida, Urdu Qaida first, they can start on that book. And after that, this advanced Urdu for A-level. At Excel have examination, and we have, it's called an Urdu higher, advanced higher. my books is very recognized all over UK, and the people read it and they are very pleased with that. 100% result is everybody last year presented about 30-40 people, mostly they got A and they passed,
Mashallah.
and they are very pleased with that. So my books are well recognized and
That's
and are taught in all British schools. I think they have good effect on very good way. They have good relationship, and Hindu, Sikh, they are all living here. Pakistani people have changed in that Glasgow. When I arrived here in Glasgow, that and this Glasgow now is a lot of is a zameen asman ka farak. At that time you were crying for Lahore, now you don't like, but this is not the same Lahore. My parents are not there. So many people have gone, died, and so what's there? My children are here now. I like here. So that change the Pakistani community has done, and all Asian people, immigrant made this country. It's we people who all we did so much bad work with these Gore people. Never touched that. My husband drove the buses and he died here, and many other my brother sister they did so much work. पाकिस्तानी तो जहाँ भी गया उन्होंने मुल्कों को चेंज कर दिया. अमेरिका किसकी बना पर बैठा है, सारे पाकिस्तानी. और इंग्लैंड को कौन किससे बनाया? पर मेरे दोनों बेटे अस्पतालों में काम करते हैं, सारा दिन काम करते हैं, उनके लिए इनको सर्व कर रहे हैं सारे. वी मेड दिस इंग्लैंड. वी आर द पीपल हु जैसी इनके पास तो ना कोई फोर्स थी, ना कोई काम था, ना ये काम करते थे. वो काम हमने किए जो इन्होंने कभी नहीं किए थे. They should be like their forefathers, their father and their grandfather who did a lot of work in this country. They should follow them. But अफसोस है मुझे ये लड़के बच्चे अब अंग्रेज़ों को फॉलो करते हैं और चीज़ें फॉलो करते हैं. अगर इस्लाम को फॉलो करेंगे तो they will be great, they will be excellent.